Hey there, Pro Wrestling Palskis. This is Mask Llama of the Legendary Fighting Federation, and I was just calling to wish you all a happy spooky season. Was curious what some of your favorite spooky gimmicks in wrestling were. Bye.
Ooh, Jake Lloyd Bacon, who's our favorite spooky wrestlers?
Well, the only way for us to find out, Scott Narver, is to judge them all very harshly using the Hitman Rating System. What do you say?
I say yay! Boo!
It's the Hitman Rating System Spooky Wrestlers today on Pro Wrestling Palskis. Hey, Scott Narver.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
We caught you fixing your camera there right at the beginning of the video. You tried to get it in. We caught it.
I always try and sneak it in, whether I'm caught or not.
Oh, boy. We know what your hands look like. Hi, everybody. We did
I'm
it.
auditioning for the role of referee.
Profiles. Are you willing to shave?
What area?
No further questions. We'll let you know.
I'll take it.
Hey, everybody. It's a spooky season. It's the first show of October, which, as you know, means later on today, our current PWP champ, Mickey Bell, will defend that title in the championship battle royal that takes place in just about an hour or so from now. Thanks to those joining us live via the super exclusive patron-only live stream. $5 a month, Scott Narver. That's all it takes. Get you access to everything. Get you into the running for the championship. It gets you the live stream access. It gets you the watch along Wednesdays. All the bonuses. Everything you could possibly imagine. $5. It's a great deal. Best deal in entertainment.
It's way better than buying Lincoln Logs.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much those are, but just one Lincoln will get you in all this.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Also, do we even know that Lincoln knew how to build cabins? Is that proof? Do we know? I don't think he did. No, he's
probably not. And if he did, some AI video will tell us that no, he didn't anymore. So
yeah,
he'll be undone.
Right. He was too busy shaving just the mustache, like me, for the majority of my adult life.
Oh, you kept like the Amish beard going?
Yeah, it did. I guess it was before we met. I only started doing this in my mid 30s, I guess. For my entire 20s. Yeah. Oh yeah. I wish. Come on. This is a fat Sharpie here on my little lip caterpillar, my soup catcher. But I always just had just this because I had a complex when I was 13 or 12 when this started coming in all wispy. My mom and I went to.
That's funny.
We went to I think it might have been Universal Studios, and we got caricatures, and the guy drew me with a wispy little teenage mustache, and I was traumatized because I didn't even know I had it. And so I shaved my mustache, and then I never had a mustache all throughout my 20s and 30s. And then one day I just got lazy, and it was the laziness that made it so good because it finally grew out, and I was like, oh, I actually have a mustache. I had no idea.
Yeah, for a lot of the stuff when people are like, I can't really grow facial hair, I can't really grow a beard, I can't really do this. I learned this from Cheers, TV show Cheers. This is not a TV show podcast, but Cliff Clavin, when they're having the beard growing contest, that his is all wispy, werewolfy ugliness,
right?
At a certain point, and they're like, "Oh, Cliff, come on!" And he's like, give it a little bit of time. You'll see, it'll come in. And then it gets full.
Right.
From there. It has to grow like vines. It has to interweave. There has to be spots that you just let it. There's a point where it's like, oh, this is bad. This looks so terrible. I can't go out in public like this. Just wait one more week and you'll see.
Yeah. That,
your body will do you right.
That does not apply to my beard, only to my mustache. My beard does just stay the wispy awfulness like his, without the second part. Listen, not.
What's the longest you've ever gone growing it out?
It was, I want to say like 2017, 16, somewhere in that range, 18. It was really, I actually have pictures. It was like down to here, but you could still see completely through it. It was completely transparent.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was awful. Yeah, no good.
Stop taking that estrogen.
Do you want to know what it was? It was horrifying. Boom! We brought it back on point. It is spooky season. And to honor our spooky seasonness, we're going to continue our journey of creating a master list of where every single wrestler in all of space and time rests, so that we can judge them all in order, because art
from roughly 1982
yes,
to the present.
Because as you know, art is objective, and all of these people can be firmly put into the boxes that we put them. It's time for a Hitman Rating System. Spooky wrestlers.
Yeah.
Listen, I feel like I don't really celebrate spooky season a lot as I've gotten older. I think this is a fun way for me to get into the spirit.
I celebrate it all the time. I just watched VHS Halloween last night.
That's the anthology series. I think a couple of my friends have directed a few of those, and I've
really?
never seen them.
Some of them are quite good, and then there are others.
Which is, it's, if you've seen a VHS movie, congratulations, you've been to a film festival, because that's kind of what they're like.
No, not at all.
The ones
because none of these have to deal with a lady in the Middle East and there's a child with a gun.
Okay.
That's a film festival. Good sure. God. Every single one of them's like, oh no. Oh no.
I guess
and this is the longest and saddest one. Oh.
I guess I meant like a specific horror film festival, like many of the ones I've been to.
Oh, sure. Sure. That specifically, but not a film festival, because a film festival, horror is beneath everyone. Oh God, that's not art. No, this one, VHS Halloween, there's some pretty solid ones, and I'd say about half are real solid. Not for you.
Probably not. No. How does Sushi Pants deal with it?
She loves it.
Yeah, big fan.
You're way into murder, right?
She's a cat, of course.
Yeah. She loves gore and suffering and terrible things that happen to humans. All about it.
Awesome.
All about
That's why she loves
it.
being in this garage with you, because it looks like a place where something terrible is about to happen.
And she's going to do it.
People are going to think, oh, it's October. He's made himself a nice like horror themed set for this month.
Nope. Just having
Just
to
life.
deal with being a full-time caretaker for my father and dealing with the medical equipment and the supplies stuff. So we can't all
right,
have
don't make
the
bit
record in, Jake.
Don't make the bit sad. Don't make the bit sad. All right, where do you want to start? There's so many.
No, I'm just trying to make you feel like shit.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to get at. There's so many spooky characters, but also what quantifies a spooky character? Is it
the intention of being spooky from the get-go?
Okay. All right. So
I feel like that's a big, because certainly not all landed.
No, not at all.
It would be harder to classify it as like, oh, that was a comedy character. Like, no, it wasn't.
Right.
The intention was from bookers, from all people that were involved, are like, we got something spooky.
Right.
And this is going to freak out the kids. This is going to, you can't wait for the hero to show up and get up past this spooky character. So
right.
I think intention is pretty big.
I agree with that, but I also feel like there's a level of gimmick, and I mean physically, like physical gimmick to it as well, because one could argue Jake the Snake Roberts, kind of a spooky character, had a big scary snake, but also I don't think of him in the same context that I think of, your Fiends and your Undertakers. I think that like there's some connective tissue, but does he go full? I don't think he qualifies as spooky for the context of our
Man had a cobra walking around. Undertaker rode on a motorcycle.
That's true. That's true. More people die from motorcycles though than cobras, I bet.
Yeah, because most cobras are in bags or baskets.
Right, of course. Plus, all you need is a flute. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, not
Whistle?
a skin flute. Doesn't work as good.
A whistle. All right. Well, why don't you kick it off? Start with whoever you'd like.
I will start with whoever I'd like.
I got to bring up my sheet so I can start filling it out.
Holy sheet.
I forgot all about it.
Well, let's start off with a fairly recent one that set the video game world ablaze.
Okay.
Abaddon.
I haven't seen a lot of Abaddon. I think I know them.
You don't have her OnlyFans?
Mostly from the like debut in AEW where they were like, "This is a big deal," and it was like the next week they're like, "She's not on the show anymore."
Welcome to AEW.
Abaddon, Abadon, right?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Fight Forever's own.
Look,
who let us know that she's still training.
Hasn't she been a wrestler for like 50? I mean, I guess that's good. You know, the smartest people never stop learning.
Oh shit. Is that true?
I believe so. I think that's where wisdom comes from.
I learned that you have shitty beards. Boom. Still learning.
There you go.
Abaddon. So you brought her up. You got a good look at her.
Oh, I mean, I kind of remember what she looks like, but sure. I meant I was going to bring up our sheet so I could fill it out and remember.
Oh, sure. But she has many a look.
She does have many a look. I mean, I immediately see her and I just go like, oh yeah, this is Marilyn Manson as a wrestler lady.
Why Marilyn Manson? Because one eye has
I guess
in it?
The first photo that I saw was just pale white face, the light contacts with the dark circle around the outside and inside. And it just reminds me of an old man. Like this specific photo that I'm looking at that only I can see gave me that vibe. But
can't that also be Kane?
No, because it's the pale white painted face. It's like the classic like cartoon of a goth, like Fred Armisen's goth character from Portlandia, where he would be at the beach, but he'd still be in the white paint.
Yeah, but once Kane's mask got off, like he wasn't tanning his face and his upper part of his head that he would shave. And he had that contact lens in there still.
Gotcha. I don't really recall that being this level of goth. But
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, this gives me late 90s goth kid, scene kid kind of vibe. But definitely like leaning a little bit more horror because there's like
a little bit.
Sure, I guess then traditional.
What's the other part of it?
That's fair. That's
French New Wave.
I mean, listen, when it comes to committing to the visual, like she's got the look. She looks scary and terrifying.
Yeah, in places.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's necessarily all over at times, or the outfit was also not as flattering in the beginning. And hey, this is the Hitman rating system. So if you're upset about body shaming, too bad, so be it.
Blame Bret Hart.
Yeah, blame Bret Hart. There was a time when she had some muffin top going on.
Right.
Which, hey, that's all right. Guys have the muffin top. Like everybody can have the muffin top. But I feel like if you're not incorporating it or making it look like part of the as threatening, or you're distracting from it or something, not just having to like sit there out in the open and you go, well, look at that. Isn't that adorable? You like a pastry or two, huh? A spooky character.
Right.
It's like Jason Voorhees might have a muffin top.
I will say
he's smart enough to wear like a onesie.
I'm just looking at a few of her get-ups, and the best ones are the ones where it's kind of like a singlet that's shredded up.
Yes.
Where it's form fit. It does make her look a little more scary, but also leans more like, oh, she is a wrestler. She's still a competitor. Whereas she's just like, you know, dressed to go to the Slipknot concert with her muffin top sticking out. But I think also the thing too is this is what happens. She has tattoos, and I think that a lot of wrestlers, like, they want to show off their tattoos in places, But yeah, it looks good when she's flexing, when she's throwing up arms, or when she's doing her crazy hands. It looks great. But when she's like hunched over in a wrestling move, yeah, it's not as.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. It like pulls you out of the like whatever it is.
Mike Lucas says in the chat, Abaddon looks like she shops at Hot Topic exclusively.
Right. Sure.
Yeah, that's where you get the Young Bucks merch. So on discount.
I will say this though. She makes that 5-head work for her. Because she's got a big old forehead, and when it's painted and her hair is matted and pulled back, it is pretty scary. Like, it works really well. It might not be attractive, but she's not trying to be attractive. That's the kind of the point.
Yes, good on her.
She leans into it.
Definitely trying to be like, you know, in the era of once we had wrestling divas that everyone had to be pretty.
Right, yeah.
It's hard to say for a female, like, hey, you shouldn't look pretty out there. Look scary, look intimidating.
Right.
And it's like, well, but I want to be glamorous. Like the idea of taking that away, she definitely leans into, I want to look fucked up.
Right.
I want you to remember what I look like when I go out there.
Yeah, and she definitely leans into it. I don't know. I'm trying to find any photos of what she looks like without makeup, but I can't find any that I feel are accurate. But like, she's making it really bad. Like,
what's weird is without makeup, she looks exactly like Danhausen with makeup.
Oh my gosh. Well, no wonder she has to wear so much of it. I'd want to cover that up too.
You haven't seen it? There's pictures of her
So
online.
where are we landing for your rating for her
makeupless
look, do you think?
That's the thing. It's a surface look.
And
it's cosmetically, it looks good. Now, when it comes to like buying it and when it's all the other elements to it, like that's the harder part. Because when you just see it, you go, oh, that looks pretty good.
Right.
So for her, just the look and being unique, especially in this current women's landscape of wrestling, I think I'd give her a 7.
Okay. I'll kind of take your lead on it there. Yeah, I agree with that. I also feel like she's also kind of small.
Yes.
And I don't know. I think that brand of horror makeup and stuff, I think lends itself to someone who's a little bit taller and a little bit bigger. Whereas she doesn't seem like a crazy, like the thing about being little.
I mean, there's somebody else little right now who's doing the same kind of thing.
And And do you think it's working?
Well, presentationally, I think Abaddon goes way further where there looks like blood and fucked up stuff already, rather than, I guess, a porcelain doll that's aged and cracked.
Right.
With Nikki Cross.
Gotcha. Yeah. I haven't really seen her as is it the Sister Abigail version of her? I haven't really seen a lot of it.
Yeah, that to me, like the look of it, I go, yeah. She has to do a lot of the trope of I'm tilting my head.
Right.
And doing this. Like, okay, we've seen that a million times. Abaddon can just look straight at you at least. And you go, you don't have to tilt the head.
No,
you can just go,
you're terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up looking.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
So the look gets a lot of stuff done.
Right. Promo. I don't know that I've ever heard her speak ever.
I don't think I have either, but one of the funniest ones that exists is, God, what is the show? What is the AEW show?
Dynamite. Collision. Rampage.
Is it Collision with when Mark Henry would be like, it's time for the main event? I think that was Collision. How quickly I forget.
Maybe.
So there was a main event where it was Abaddon and somebody else. I don't know who. Maybe this was Rampage. It's Collision Rampage. I don't care anymore. And it was Abaddon versus somebody, and they have them. They do the split screen. Excuse me. They have the split screen.
Easy for you to say.
There's Abaddon and the opponent, and then Mark Henry's in the middle. It's like, Abaddon, tell us what are you going to do tonight? And it's it's a bad scenario in which everything's mic'd, right?
Okay.
Like when you're essentially a silent character and you just, you growl, you make faces and all that. Who knows what kind of noise you're making because you're out in the crowd, out in the ring, and you don't hear anything. Well, the audio is there and you can hear it go like, and it's not scary.
Right.
It is the furthest thing from it. It's like the meme that I don't think is real where Triple H one time was doing the spit and the flex and all that. And he's going, but it makes a chipmunk noise.
Great.
When he's doing it.
Moment for the freeze.
So it's one of those where
sorry, I got distracted. Your stream froze for a moment right when you were mid Triple H face, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. That's worth your $5 Patreon right there. Sorry, Scott. Yes, squirrel. You were making a squirrel sound. You said during it. I don't think I've ever seen this meme.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So she had a very similar comical, not scary sounding noise that came out of her when it was happening. So that's the extent where I can say like, that's the promo I've heard of Abaddon. And it, and for being on their show for years where it's like nothing. I get it. If you're not good at a promo, but they never really sold or pitched anything where it's like, oh, she's able to do something that can convey how scary she is. Even if it's, if you have a wordless promo, I'll count that all day. Like if you're able to look at a camera and be terrifying and do something like, that can still count of your interview time and you do something. So that's all I have to go off of. So it's not the worst. It's not, I can't really give it like a default 5 capable.
Right.
I'd go like 3.5.
Okay. Again, following your lead on this, because I haven't even seen the one bad thing you're referencing, but there is something to be said about like you said, rating somebody based on promo whose their whole thing is that they don't need to do the promo. Like that's part of the thing. Wrestling. I do recall seeing and not feeling like feeling like there's a disconnect between the character and the wrestling. That was my one recollection of her.
Sure.
Don't know if it's a fair one, obviously.
She's good in the game. You can make her a real good wrestler in the game.
Okay. What if we gave her a 99 in this category? She's our highest rated. Well, we did video game ratings for this one.
No, you're doing the 2K thing. You can't do that. Stop doing the 100 and then the fucking beaten to death. Wait a minute. Who's higher than me? That's some bullshit. Every year, all those fucking people at IGN. I go 4, I guess, because again, the disconnect being she wrestles. There's part of her, of the character that wrestles, but she's also, I think, worried about putting on like a really great match rather than just being that character in wrestling.
I think that's what I meant. Yeah, like I recall there being a disconnect between like, oh, I'm a character who's got all this makeup and this presentation on, and then I still have to do like a front face lock spinning neck break. You know what I mean? Like there's like a level of like, there's like certain people that I never want to see in a collar and elbow, you know, like, and there's something about like, you could put on all the makeup, you could have the horror thing, you could hold the severed head. And then when you put someone in a wrist lock, it's sort of like, all right, I thought you were trying to murder this person.
If you're putting them in a wrist lock, like why?
Right.
What is creepy about it? Are you then like moving your hand up their arm and doing something where they're like, whoa, what are you doing?
Right. Yeah.
Like Goldust was especially good at taking traditional moves in the early stages of it about like playing on people's homophobia.
100%.
And doing something where it's totally fucking with your head. And I feel that's lost with some horror characters.
I agree. And I think that's why when people do it pretty well, or they just commit to it, even if it's dated, you just go like, yeah, well, that's fantastic, obviously. So Abaddon sits at a 14.5.
Okay.
Still above Matt Jackson.
And we gave her a lot of leeway.
We gave her a lot of leeway.
And we've seen him.
14.5 for Abaddon. All right, this one might be tough, but I'm gonna pull I'll pull a rando older character because I think we've done this before, where it's like when there's a wrestler with multiple gimmicks, we're rating the character and the gimmick, not the wrestler's lifetime, unless the character didn't really change in the lifetime, and that's where we sometimes get a little wishy-washy with it.
Yeah, I think I'm all for that.
Okay, so let's go Papa Shango.
Okay. Not Mama Shango.
Not Mama Shango. Papa Shango.
Which is
Shango,
right there on the table.
Shango?
Right?
Right.
Papa Shango. The fact that no one has picked up Mama Shango yet.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's right there for the taking.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where you have to be objective to where we are now. But I can very easily just recall myself being a kid and being like, oh no, that's a 10. Look, he was terrifying to me. like there's no better scary thing for a child. And so do we rate him in the context of his peers, in the context of the error? Oh, some might argue it was an error, not an era. But I mean, Papa Shango's got a great, I'm obviously exaggerating. I don't think 10 is high, but I mean, they took what was sort of a caricature of like the voodoo culture and of like the Louisiana backwoods, and I don't know that it's necessarily the most original thing, but just because it's an original doesn't mean that it's not effective and
well, it wasn't done in wrestling,
right? Sure. Oh yeah, of course.
Because I mean, if you're going to look at all this and say, I saw this in that movie or this thing did that. Like, yeah. But the exposure of it in wrestling, and they did it once. Has anybody ever really touched this again?
Right.
There was that one TNA female manager character that was supposed to be some sort of not necessarily voodoo that she was controlling.
I think the closest thing we got was Boogeyman, probably. Because there's a lot of similarities between that, like some of the dress with the
voodoo.
Yeah, it was adjacent.
You're adjacent.
I mean, the face paint is great. The hat is great. I think the things that always go against stuff like this are when like the tattoos don't match the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at photos and like I feel like he's got like a skull on his chest. Like that's great. I can't tell what the other thing is, but he's got like sleeves at this point in time. And they're all kind of horror-ish. So they all sort of lend themselves to the character instead of being like, oh, why does, I don't know, Braun Strowman have a Superman logo or whatever this modern version of it would be. I mean, he's got a great look.
Cool, because he's a really strong guy.
Well, that's a good point. He's a Man of Steel.
Yeah, his tattoos aren't, they don't take away from it.
Right.
I was certainly bummed that he didn't wrestle with the hat on. That's what? He just wears the hat to the ring and
I think
never put anything in it.
Yeah, but that's probably one of those things where we don't want to necessarily wish for that, because at that era they would have been like, oh, and the entire time he had a brick in his hat and it's just like a brick standing up and he's headbutting people with it.
That's fine.
I just noticed we were joined by Alex Pierce in the chat. He says he's going to an ATM so he can grab cash to pick up a classic Intercontinental Championship from Marketplace. Well, there you go.
Classic.
We
know it's Facebook Marketplace. We know there's no Instagram Marketplace.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the package is concerned, I mean, I do think that he's up there for look, especially of the era. Looks completely different. Nobody else like it. It was one of those characters where even if he couldn't talk and he couldn't wrestle for shit, they were going to sell a whole lot of action figures. and like you were able to create the gimmick based off of how good the appearance was.
Well, good thing that happened. Oh wait.
I don't know.
I'm sold many action figures of Papa
Well,
Shango.
no, I know, but I'm trying to like, the point is, I mean, they probably did now more. They probably sold more modern era ones of Papa Shango if they ever remade them. But you get what I'm trying to
On
get
the
at. Like,
marketplace.
it's here's the thing. You know what? It's a good Halloween costume, and that's another good sign of like, does it make a good Halloween costume?
Well, but white kids can't do it now because for some reason that's deemed inappropriate. I'm Papa Shango. Can't have whiteface on you. But what? Huh?
8.
I'm having trouble with this one because Papa Shango didn't resonate with me. It was of the stupid era.
Right.
Like this is when things got really goofy and dumb. I can appreciate what it was and how it looks, but a lot of it is like, it's what's hanging over the head for me is it clearly didn't work because they scrapped it.
Sure.
So it didn't have legs. Like they deemed a guy whose first job is being an undertaker. And then secondarily, he goes, you know what? I'll also just go wrestle. And then the guy who's going, I'm a voodoo priest, but in the
right
on the weekends, I'll go wrestle too.
Right. I like fighting.
And he's like, you know what? Being a voodoo priest works out better. I get paid more. I'm gonna go do that. So I don't know the full timeline of all things Papa Shango, and I don't know why ultimately it just fizzled out. Like, why didn't it continue on? Were they the promos? Were they the matches? Were they what do you have any recollection of that?
No, I don't really remember it ending either. I don't think it ended with any sort of big blowout. I know like there was some rando feuds, like you said, a taker feuds like that, but I don't remember there was any sort of like, this is it. This was the big thing. And then he was gone forever. I guess my recollection is it fizzles. And then they attempted to bring him back once, and then that they scrapped it. I know he's talked about that. There's literally like, I think there might be even photos of it where they were like, oh yeah, they brought him in and were like, yeah, we're bringing back Pop. It was like in the 2000s at some point.
Okay.
And it might have been like Ruthless Aggression-ish era. And then he says like, yeah, I showed up, and then they like say a day of, I think they decided not to do it. I'm completely paraphrasing the thing that I think I remember, so this all might be total bullshit. But I think maybe that happened, ?
So what do you say again for look?
I was going to say 8. Because, I mean, I think that like for everything that you can say about Abaddon's presentation, like Papa Shango is also a big, giant, scary dude without any of the makeup, without any of the stuff. He's got a great wrestling look. And I think that like you add that on top of it, and I think that is really like, I think it's pretty great.
I'll give you an 8.
Yeah, great. Sold.
I'll allow it.
Promo. These I don't really remember. I think he had a laugh that was a little bit, but didn't he also have someone speaking for him most of the time?
That I don't know. I don't recall Papa Shango having a manager.
I don't recall promos.
And he never had a little dummy that said stuff for him.
Right. I wish his little like skull on a pike, I wish it had a little mouth that opened.
Sarai.
Yeah, I struggle to remember promos of his.
This to me felt like the stuff that I've seen is just like generic.
Right. It's got to be just silly.
The look is working, but he can't tap into the voodoo priest of it all, and
the
make
language
it seem
authentic.
totally believable.
Right. Yeah.
But we know this guy isn't fucking stumbling all the time, fucking up, but it's just not believable. So what? 5? Is that being nice, or when it's not a believable character, is it like a 4?
I think I would say that we could probably go 4, because I think even 5, like baseline, is just kind of like, here's the thing. since I can't really recall them, even if the character doesn't work, was he good at doing the thing that was generic and disconnected? Because I think that's kind of right. Yeah. So like that's why I'm thinking. So
if we can't believe you in that role,
right?
Like, yeah, when you're Godfather, Goodfather,
sure.
Even Kamo is like a little bit better and more direct, but yeah.
So I think 4 there.
4.
Wrestling. I do recall them trying to recapture. I say recapture. I don't even know the timeline of how it all worked, but like Taker no sell stuff with him, where there was a lot of just like, you can't hurt me, I'm scary. And that's always tough because you don't really get to see the character actually wrestle and be good at selling and be good at telling the story and be good at like the thing that makes wrestling, when I mean like the act of wrestling that makes that highly rated, is the whole like believability. Do his punches sell? Does it look like he takes bumps well? It's kind of hard. So I feel like another thing where I probably would lean lower, even though I think the guy succeeded at being a wrestler for a very long time. And it wasn't because he was just a good character and charismatic. Like he put on matches that people cared about. Yeah. I mean, did he? I wonder what Papa Shango's finisher was specifically.
A shoulder breaker.
It was the same thing.
He didn't. Well, when he was Godfather, I think he would do the move,
right?
But the hoe train, and then trying to remember, it's a slam or like a Samoan drop was his finisher. Right. But a shoulder breaker to me is just one of the worst looking moves. It being a finisher just never works for me.
Yeah,
everything about it's like no. It's so clunky. And for a voodoo priest, like, I will break one of your shoulders. What?
Yeah.
Well, then kick out with the other one. Aren't you spasming enough that the one hurts so bad that you're going to fucking flail on the other one? I don't know. That was awful.
Yeah, it's not great. It looks nice when he has the guy up on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Before he does the move. Because it's like, oh shit, the guy's facing upwards. That doesn't seem normal. You know, like usually the guy's facing down.
I thought they're downwards.
No, that's what makes it inverted. Yeah. And so that's like kind of scary looking. But then the impact of the move it's also not sort of move you can do on everybody. He's not gonna be able to pull it off on anybody bigger than him. But I guess when you're that big, it's okay. All right, you gonna watch a couple?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm watching now. I don't like a shoulder breaker.
Yeah. Again,
rarely does anybody work the shoulder.
Right.
Is the shoulder just a constant? And watching it now too, it just looks like someone's gonna get hurt.
It also seems like
or
a sort
your
of
own
thing,
knee.
Right? Yeah. It's the sort of thing that hurts him more. Also, it would be better if he just did it like the Michinoku driver, but he was the other way around. If he just sat down with it. And did it made it seem like a pile driver of some sort?
Yeah, sit down pile driver of some kind. Because either you're fucking up the knee that you're throwing the guy onto,
right?
Or you're trying to make sure that he's not landing on your dominant knee that is the striking knee, right?
Right.
So then all your weight's going down on the knee that you're putting on the ground and fucking up that knee.
Yeah. All I'm saying is if I was his health insurance people, he would have to charge him quite a lot because that seems like he's guaranteed to hurt himself eventually.
There'd be so many Lloyds in London.
All right. So yeah, I mean
5.5.
5.5, definitely better, wrestler probably than he was talker. So if we're trying to find some semblance of normalcy, yeah, I think 5.5 is fair.
Yeah, the speed, the cadence, like the presence, all that.
And a great athlete for sure. All righty. Papa Shango total 17.5. I think it balanced out in a way that feels right to me.
Okay. I agree.
Let's do another.
Another spooky person.
Oh man, we're I didn't realize how long we've been going already. We've only gotten through 2. We really take our time with these.
Well, as Bret Hart wouldn't. Crazy Steve.
Oh, all right. I'm going to have to defer to you on this one because I've seen so little of Crazy Steve.
Same with Steve.
He's
legally blind.
Wait, really? Crazy Steve is legally blind?
Yeah.
What was the name? Wasn't he a part of a group? What were they called? Insanity? No, what was the name of their group?
No, Decay.
Decay. Thank you. Yes, Decay. Right. Crazy Steve. All right. Yeah, honestly, I feel like I saw maybe 2 things with Crazy Steve ever.
One is on your mark.
So 3 things of Crazy Steve, maybe.
You son of a bitch. I'm biased. That he's a cool dude. I like him. And there was definitely some fucking Superman Clark Kent moment that I had with him one time, because Dale and I had gone to Florida and we did interviews and stuff, and then we went to the restaurant afterwards where like everybody goes because there's just that's the one thing close by. And later on, like we'd just seen people and talking about stuff, and we chatted with some folks, and then he says like, I brought up Crazy Steve, and I said, oh, it's yeah, I didn't see him there. He goes, yeah, he was there. He's the guy with the big Coke bottle glasses. I'm like, that wasn't him. Like the guy no, that's not him. And then finding out later, like, oh yeah, that was him from character on screen.
Right.
He's able to just hide himself, partially with the Coke bottle glasses and just also the look and everything. The hair is
the
fucking
paint,
wild and all that stuff. And yeah, he was just always a super cool guy, but I think he's got a really fun look that is manageable, where it's so many wild and crazy characters back in the day, right? Like you couldn't hide it. Like if you're Legion of Doom, right?
Right.
Unless you're rocking a hat all the time, like your head is just the way it's going to be.
Right.
You're not painting it, but if you're Hawk or Animal, you go, no, this is my fucking hairdo. I have to wear it for work all the time.
People are going to notice you in public from behind from 30 yards away.
And just notice, like, they're gigantic. Their hair is weird. Could that be LOD? Well, they don't have the face paint on. Like even Sheamus when he's rocking the mohawk, right? Like, well, I can part it to the side.
Right.
But then in fact, half of my head is...
You would sometimes see in all of the bonus stuff that WWE would do, or like where they would show behind the scenes, or him doing the Be a Star thing where he's a big hat wearer. And I feel like that's intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Crazy Steve, though, I can make my hair look crazy. I can put on the makeup and all that. And then I can just continue on in my normal life and just be a guy.
When you think of Crazy Steve in your mind's eye, are you seeing like more of the clown makeup or the like kind of generic horror makeup? Not generic, you know what I'm trying to say, the horror makeup that would come after. Well,
it's kind of a hybrid of the two. It's
right.
It goes from the clown makeup to a horror version of the clown makeup.
Sure.
There's certainly the Decay era where him and Abyss, it looks like stained glass.
So was there, sorry to interrupt, but was there a Crazy Steve pre-Decay that was less Decay-ish?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know any of that. That's completely foreign to me. So did he always do was that where the clown starts?
Yes.
Got it.
Clown starts in TNA, and I'm trying to remember that group with Rebel and Mike Knox.
Okay.
I'm looking up that name. The Menagerie.
The Menagerie. Ooh.
Yeah. So there it starts.
That was just a year. Yeah.
Kind of basic. And then over time, it gets a little bit more elaborate and a little bit more crazy because he has 2 Z's in his name. That's how crazy he is.
Oh my goodness, he does. I have to write that. I have to fix that in our Hitman workbook sheet because I wrote it with just the regular Z.
Yeah, that could be anybody else. And he's always been in solid shape. He's on the shorter side of guys.
Yeah, but he's
he's wide in the shoulders.
Yeah, really. He looks like a triangle, like that really classic kind of scary looking, almost comic book drawing style shoulders where all of his mass is horizontal up top. Yeah. Really, like without the face paint, he would have a good look for wrestling.
And he's clearly good at taking promo photos because you can see it in a lot of them. Like he's just at an angle enough, and it's like he inflates him a little bit more too, so he can distract you from his lack of height.
Yeah,
with his with his prowess.
So what do you think for his look?
I like it. Again,
I like it. Yeah.
He's added the tattoos over the years, but it's the crazy nature of it all is just the head, right? Like,
Right.
so he's never had to rely on like, oh, and then there'll be tassels and things, and I'll get this, I'll paint this, I'll paint this. He's just put the emphasis on there, and he's expressive enough that I think he keeps your attention there.
Right.
So all the other stuff, again, like wrestler body, fine, that's fine. So I think it's solid. I think like 7.5.
I think that's fair. That's kind of what I was thinking. Sushi Pants has clearly very upset with the rating that we gave Crazy Steve. And is freaking out. So what about promo? Again, I can't really speak to this because I don't know that I've ever heard the dude speak.
Thanks for watching On Your Mark. He is a solid speaker. I think he's very coherent. Has a good crazy laugh, not a disingenuous crazy laugh, which many a wrestler has, or the Seth Rollins of it all, where they laugh, I feel, in inappropriate places.
Right.
Where it just feels like, I'm filling time right now. It's very fluid with him. So I feel like he's fluid. He's fast. He's not a big yeller, but it's all good. I don't think
there's a believability and an intensity.
Yes. I don't think he shakes the foundation of anything. I don't think he's had promos necessarily that I've ever heard where I go like, oh my God, that's I got to go buy a ticket to that show. But every time I'm like, oh, I'm very entertained.
Right. All right. So are we thinking like 6-ish, 6.5-ish in that kind of space?
I go 6.5.
Yeah. 6.5. I feel like that's kind of fair as far as like, they're very serviceable. They sell the stuff, but not in a way that you're going to pass it to your friend and go, did you see this promo?
Yeah. I think at his best was Decay with Rosemary Abyss and him, where they're all riffing off of each other.
Right. All righty. So what about his wrestling?
No matter what, he's getting an extra 0.5 because he's legally blind.
That is pretty outstanding. As somebody who's practically also legally blind, I think I'm about one more prescription away at this point.
So as far as I know, he doesn't have any corrective anything in the ring. I chatted with him about it a little bit. Like I said, he had those Coke bottle glasses.
Right.
I've seen him lay out a match, and I think I recall him telling me and seeing it after the fact where Abyss physically moved him at one point for something because Steve thought he was in the right spot, but visibly like just couldn't tell. So Abyss went like, you need to be over here, and just fucking moved him. And then they did the thing. So for him to get by and to be at a working company, and I've never heard of anything where he did something where he injured someone, where he couldn't see that he was incapable or something like that. I think that certainly hurt his NXT tryout, because there was that when they were doing the times when everyone was wearing the gray t-shirt.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
Here's our tryout session of this.
Performance center classes and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of those, but they probably went like, look, man.
Can I read you a Crazy Steve quote?
Please.
From 5 years ago when someone asked him about being legally blind. He says, I can't drive. I also have glaucoma. And as I get older, my eyes are only continuing to get worse. But I am the Michael Jordan of not seeing. I am really, really good at it. That is a great fucking quote. A+ quote. But yeah.
Any of the stuff that he does, to know that, it's incredible.
He was born with cataracts, had to be put in an incubator as a baby.
Fuck.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Steve.
I honestly didn't. I was still reading, and I only processed that you just yelled Steve at me. Yeah, and he kept it a secret from a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's up to a point, right, where it's something's going to happen in the ring somewhere where they're like, "Where are you?" And he's like, "Where are you?" What?
Right. He didn't want to be known as like the good blind wrestler. He just wanted to be a good wrestler. He didn't want. He wanted to get graded on a bell curve. That's crazy.
Steve.
All right. So, I mean, that I haven't even seen a lot of them, but now I'm biased to give him a better score. I will say this: the thing I do when I think about him, I do put him in that class from what I remember of the Decay era, because that is when I was tuning into Impact for a little while, because I think
the Hardys
were there. Yeah, I was gonna say the Hardys were there. I remember. I think we had EY. Maybe it was at the time when he was in the briefs trunks. Maybe it was somewhere in that phase. Maybe it was a little bit after that. But anyways, I was tuning in at that point, and when I think of him in my mind's eye, I think of him like in that category. It's interesting you bring up like the TNA or the Impact tries. It's like he's one of those like indie wrestlers who has like a good work rate, but doesn't seem to be. He doesn't tip into the Bucks territory. He seems to be one of those guys who's just like. He's an indie star for a reason, because he's exciting, he's good, he's incredibly athletic, he pushes the boundaries of, what I would consider like technical high fly combination stuff. Like that's what I think of when I think of him.
I think of him a little bit more in the old school era where he's doing what's right for the show and what's needed of the night and of their match, where it's not, I'm going to show everybody that I can do everything there is to do. Yeah, you could do that. Or you could be the serviceable player where, hey, essentially tonight, your match needs to just reset the temperature.
Right.
Because we have something going on after you that's going to be crazy. Like, you got it. I'll do it.
Right.
And just know how to play to what is needed, and that's less spectacular to fans. It's probably great for bookers and everybody else that goes like, you get it. You know exactly what we're needing and what we're looking for. And he can turn it up when he needs to turn it up, and certainly had spectacular matches with Abyss and the Hardys and doing that stuff. Like, so I think all around, while it's not grandiose to do that, to get that, and consistently as your eyes get worse over the years. Cause I think in the beginning of TNA, it's like, yeah, you're probably a little nervous. You're on TV.
Right.
And he got better with time. Saw him at a couple indie shows and exciting, and had all the right crescendos to a match where it built. And then boom, there's the ending. Everyone was happy, and it's over. They didn't go for another 20 minutes and do something. So again, I was thinking like maybe 6.5, but I'd give him a 7 because he gets that extra half.
I think 7 is a fair place for him. And again,
he's a good hand.
I keep trying to not do the thing where I'm looking at other names on our list, and it's hard for me not to do it. But when I see that, I go, yeah, no. 7 seems to be kind of where we, I'm trying not to be motivated by it, but it's kind of hard when it's right there.
He doesn't have his own wing in the Botchamania Hall of Fame.
No,
for a guy that's fucking legally blind.
Sure.
So that's
21 overall rating for Crazy Steve. Well, we've in a previous episode we talked about Abyss. We just did Crazy Steve. Even though I'm not super familiar, and I apologize if I'm tasking you with all the work here, I know there's also a bias because of a certain romantic love that you have.
10.
Let's talk about Rosemary. Let's keep on Decay. Rosemary is one of those characters that you have made over the years of doing the show. You have made me like and respect, who previously I think I wrote off as just a generic horror character. And we've talked about her throughout the years of doing the show, even before we were doing this version of the podcast, when we were doing recap stuff. And you always spoke with such passion for her, not just as a character, but as a person, but also like in ring. And I've seen some of her stuff, not a lot of it. I've probably seen more of Rosemary than I have of Crazy Steve, probably a lot more. And I definitely don't dislike her. But I feel like the passion that you have for her has always made me go like, oh, well, Rosemary's one of ours. Like she's one of the Palskis wrestlers, you know?
Dude. Yeah, she was criminally underrated, criminally underused, probably to her own detriment, because I think a lot of wrestlers have this to a certain extent where they're in a company and they go like, I don't know, does anybody else even know who I am?
Right.
I'm good here. I got the job here. Can I go beyond this? Right. Like I heard that from Rockstar Spud specifically when he was at TNA and he was really hitting a stride. And when just chatting with him in a friendly setting, asking about like, well, are you looking elsewhere? And he's like, I don't think anybody knows who I am.
Huh.
So I don't know if Rosemary had that. I hope she didn't, but it seems like she did. But she's amazing. A Billy Corrigan and her creation. This is certainly like one of Billy's best tapped into things when he was booking and threw everything at her. She wowed everyone. She wowed the crew when we were backstage. And I think I told the story a little bit where it's just a hired technical crew, cameras and sound and all that.
Right.
And they're not wrestling fans. And they would be in awe of her and they would ask me about her. They're like, so she does it? Like she comes up with all this on her own? She's fucking amazing, man. Like we watch a lot of these people and they stumble or they do this. She's able to do it in one shot or they'll do it again because they want to do something with the camera and she just does it again.
There are those people who come along in wrestling who are just also natural actors and they don't.
She said she was a theater kid.
And that's exactly what it is. I 100%. Oh my God. That actually tracks so much that she was definitely a theater kid. And I think it just comes naturally for some people. And, she's definitely one of those. I didn't know she was Canadian.
Yeah. That's why she's even more lovely than one might imagine.
I mean, she has had quite a few looks throughout the years as Rosemary. But I think this is one of those ones, unlike Papa Stronger, where we can kind of judge because she's always been Rosemary once she was Rosemary. So even though the look, the hair color, the type of paint has changed throughout the years, she's always committed to an aesthetic that even though it can change, it all is connected to the same character.
Yeah. She's gone through the shorter hair as of recently and like less
blonde,
makeup and all that kind of stuff. But certainly the decay days in the early on Rosemary, and she did like some skull stuff for a while.
Right.
There's a lot of looks to it. And it's, while some of it may not hit, at least there's always options, or it may hit with somebody else and pull them in. I think
that she struggles from kind of what I was talking about a little bit earlier with Abaddon, whereas like there is a brand of horror spooky gimmick that feels like all spooky gimmick, where it's not distinctive enough. And I think that's the only thing that I would diminish Rosemary for, is that if I didn't know her face in a way and you showed me a lot of different versions of a character like this, I don't know that I'd be able to pinpoint one over the other. And I think like there's a slight missing of originality, even though I do think Rosemary feels like a real original to me.
Go fuck yourself.
But I don't know. We're throw a number out there. We'll see if we're in the same ballpark here, what we're thinking.
For look.
Yeah.
I guess the hard part is because it's not consistent throughout the years.
No.
But at its strongest, I'd say 8.5.
Okay. So you're definitely going a lot higher than I am.
Yeah, because I want to give her a 10, but I know you're going to complain.
So what makes her better than Abaddon in your eyes? Like just based on look?
Based on look it goes beyond the makeup.
Okay. Because I was going to say Abaddon commits to the horror way more.
Yeah, but that's opening her mouth and it's the makeup. Like
Right,
the makeup is like there's blood and it looks like she has
yeah.
wounds and her eyes are messed up.
Right.
But what Rosemary would do beyond that as part of the look is the body contortion and the promos.
Sure.
And what I mean by that, like I'm not putting in the promo part of it.
Right.
It is the look of all the physicality that she would have with it, the facials that she was able to do with minimal makeup, and beyond that, and how she carried herself and the presence of her all the time. That if you were to remove the makeup from both of them, right, you're going to be able to tell that Rosemary's Rosemary.
Right.
But if Abaddon was being Abaddon without the makeup, I don't think it would register in any way.
You know what? That's a very well put argument. So you want to go 8-5 for her?
Yeah. I want to go fucking 10-5
right.
for her.
Promo. I think this is where she really shines. Especially considering how well she would make corny things work. Like she sold us some bullshit over the years and sold it really well.
And for really being, I mean, we've had eccentric women characters, right? Like we've had, or like Luna Vachon or a Bull Nakano. At times, I think you could say Sherry was this, but she was, to my recollection, I mean, maybe there's stuff in Japan, but Rosemary's the real first women's spooky character.
Yeah, I think like to that level, like the commitment of that level. Absolutely.
And you're going, okay, there's stuff like an insane asylum is involved. And is she lunatic? Like, is she supernatural? Like when you're getting into all those territories, I think she's the first.
Right.
And she was the flag bearer for it.
I agree.
She wasn't she made it into wrestle crap. And it's like, look at this, look at how they've mucked all this up. And through her words too, because you could see the look and you go like, oh, okay. But then when she spoke, she backed it all up and I think heightened it even more.
Right.
So, because she was the mouthpiece for Decay. It wasn't Abyss and it wasn't Crazy Steve. It was her.
9?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would give her promo higher than her look, which is why I'm forced to at least go 9 if we're giving her an 8.5 on look. Because I think that, again, I think that's her strongest suit.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Wrestling. Another thing I'll defer to you because the stuff I've seen of her, she's very good at wrestling in gimmick, which I talk about a lot.
Yeah.
And my problem is that because she's so good at wrestling gimmick, much like Bray Wyatt, I don't really think, when I think about her wrestling matches, I only think of the gimmick moments. I only think of and so it's harder for me to be like, oh, well, how well does she sell a pile or a suplex? How well does she tell that? And so it's a little bit harder for me to judge it without just being like, well, she looked scary when she did that thing, or she can throw a really believable elbow, like.
The hardest part also, I think, with the majority of her career, obviously being in TNA, she showed up when everybody left.
Right.
Or they were inactive.
Right.
She didn't have the matches with ODB and Tara and
Gail Kim and
Kong
everybody.
And, countless others. She was coming in with new crews and you looked at her going like, can you carry this division? Can you have these matches with other people? I know they had a long series with Su Yung, who I'm not a fan of, who's also a spooky character. And it's hard to say because I think a lot of her opponents throughout the years weren't up to her level. But was she able to hide that and mask that and make them amazing?
Right.
No. Right. So could she do it? I think to your point, like she could wrestle well in character.
Right.
She could, she's certainly not a bad wrestler by any stretch, but I don't think we'll ever have gotten to see her really shine.
Right.
And be the best who she could have been because she just stayed in the landscape of TNA. So I don't know, 6.
I think that's fair. That puts her at a 23-5 overall title.
30.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Our first 30.
before we pick another person, Alex Pierce is back with his title. He says, this title is awesome. So in the time that we've been chatting, he went to the ATM, got cash, went and met somebody, bought a classic Intercontinental Championship, and he really likes it. Post pictures of it on the Discord, Alex Pierce.
Did you buy it from Tatanka or
Buffalo?
Probably did.
Alrighty, pick another one. I know we're gonna go long on this because I always like to try to at least get like 6 here or something like that. So let's just do it. Whatever. It's spooky season. You have a couple more minutes before you're out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do have my out. You know what? This may be debated. This may be argued, but I don't care because he is a spooky character to me. Zeus.
Oh my God. Zeus is not a spooky character.
What do you mean he's not a spooky character?
He is just a crazy inmate. He's just a dude.
How dare you? Fine. I knew you'd argue this.
I mean, we can still do it. It's fine.
No.
I mean, I like having the name on the list. Wait, what? I gotta switch. No, we can do Zeus. Do you want to do Zeus? Do you want to do Kamala? I'll let you pick.
We'll do Kamala.
All right. Kamala. Sort of a Papa Shango precursor.
What? They're not from the same regions of the world. He's from Uganda.
I know, but listen, for white kids in the 80s, here is a dude who was enormous and not built like he didn't. This guy didn't lift weights. He lifted trees, and he was
Careful.
Survival strong. Careful about what?
Careful.
He was like survival strong. He was terrifying.
Dude, Kamala is great. I love Kamala. I think in a pre-internet world, what a fabulous wrestling gimmick that existed in the territories that I believe was born out of Memphis.
Right.
Coming up with the early vignettes, seeing what it was, and just to not have the world and everything at your fingertips, to just know about these faraway places, to have heard of it, or you have to look up in your encyclopedias that you own and go like,
right.
Uganda? What is Uganda? Like, what is there? This guy's from Uganda?
Yeah. Before we had the education of the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, it's to be able to tap into the unknown, but it does exist, and you can tell people whatever you want.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, essentially, we had this not too long ago with you can take Borat and say,
yeah, Kazakhstan. Exactly.
You don't know shit about Kazakhstan.
Right. Yep.
We know that we're making something funny, but you know what? You might believe half of this.
Right. 100%. 100%.
So I think the lore, the look, all the stuff that they created out of it was really something, because it only got better. Because the early looks of Kamala are, certainly rough, because what do you do? What do you make? And then to refine it over the time to the 2 stars up top and the moon belly, that alone, and you go, oh, that's Kamala. I know it. I like it.
Yeah. But also,
no purple horseshoes.
Also, the way that they did his face paint was also really distinctive as well. Mm-hmm. The like skeleton mouth paint, the very distinctive eye stuff.
Make it look like teeth.
Also, just having the negative space, not making it all paint, but having the stripes with his bare skin showing through. Like, yeah, I mean, it's sold. I think the only thing that takes his look down for me was the like, what's he got? What does he wear for ring gear? I don't know, just like a leopard print torn skirt. I think that's the only thing that.
Yeah, but he had a gun in there.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Well, he talks about it in his was it High Spots or a video? One of those shoot interviews. They started messing with him. And so he brought a gun. He had a gun in his and his tights when he wrestled.
I also like I know that it was not as common of the era, but the fact that he didn't have tattoos also went a very long way. Because I feel like nowadays you can't find a guy who doesn't have tattoos, especially a big guy.
Yes.
And it almost feels novel, like looking at him, looking at the paint on his chest, and not competing with, $500,
like some
$500 worth of, yeah, exactly.
Oh, and he also served in the Marines.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the Semper Fi with the logo. Yeah. I mean,
a guy also who could probably live his life and hide a little bit because, again, a larger guy.
Right.
But you remove all those highlights of white makeup across his face and you put a shirt and everything on him that by the time you may even start to think he kind of looks like Kamala, he's gone.
Right.
Like he's already left and can continue living his life.
Right.
Unless the territory days, right? Like if he's in Memphis, maybe something like that where you go, that looks like the guy who's Kamala.
Now, was his... No, I'm going to leave that for later because there is some crossover for look. We talk about this like you were talking about with Rosemary, where like there's a little bit of promo that inspires the look and that kind of stuff. I think his wrestling and just the shape that he was in, the way that he moved, sometimes takes away from the look, but the look on its own is probably more effective. Obviously a really big dude and had probably the challenges that most big dudes that were wrestlers of the era had. But I don't know. What's a number you're thinking for look?
Yeah, it's tricky. Like it's certainly wrapped up in nostalgia.
Right.
It's so enjoyable. It's so distinct. No one's ever been able to, I think, capture anything like it or mimic it because they're immediately going to go like, you're ripping them off. What are you doing?
Right.
But I think it works so well. Probably an 8.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. Also, to your point about the like, oh, I know exactly how it is. His logos are very simplistic. Like a kid can draw those stars and that moon, which also make it easily more iconic. I remember Taker.
That mask is awesome.
Taker drawing the logos on the casket and being like, well, that's the coolest thing ever. Like now I know exactly who that casket's made for. Like, yeah. Promo. Now he did have somebody talking for him most of the time.
Various characters throughout the years. Kimchi being the most notable one, but different managers throughout different places.
Right, of course.
But a lot of groans and moans.
Yeah.
With promo, I'll give him this because again, there's little words to deal with.
Right.
The conveying of emotion that he would do, because it wasn't just I'm threatening, I'm a monster, I'm going to get you all the time, which I think many people would do, and it could be stale or it's one noted. There was always like the sympathy in his eyes.
Right.
And he had a lot of vulnerability to him. There's all this like curiosity.
We talked about that when we watched the him versus Daniel Bryan match that nobody knows existed. We didn't, right? Yeah. And he's so expressive. Like, and in both directions, you're right. Like the vulnerability, but also the anger, the rage, the shock when he's hurt. Like he was really, really expressive. So he's probably
constant nodding, constant.
He didn't say a lot because the character didn't call for it. And also I think they were trying to say that he couldn't speak English. That was also part of the shtick, but
again, those noises, like
a good actor,
noises.
And a good actor, like stripped away.
In the realm of, because I don't know, I believe James Harris was his name. I don't know to what extent of like being a showman where it's like, oh, I grew up and I like this and I watched that show and I pulled a little bit from that. Like he was a truck driver. I know, like hardworking guy. So I think all the more impressive when I don't know of anything of like a Rosemary where he's a theater kid or he had something about it where so many of these things clicked and he took to it that you can tell people all day long. Right. And he was under the tutelage of Jerry Lawler, who happens to be one of the greats.
Right.
but that it all clicked and he was able to carry it and continued on. And at no point do I watch Kamala and I go, I don't fucking buy that for a second.
Right.
Oh, he dropped out of character there.
Sure.
For others that are really good at it, and I have seen them drop out of character or something like that, he stayed in it. Like he was committed. Right. So when it came to promo and emotions, there was always something, he always gave you something to watch.
Right.
If he's not speaking, your eyes on him. They would do the old thing where if there's three people, if you got your Mean Gene, you got your translator, and you got Kamala, the camera's always pushing in on Kamala. And you always wanted to watch Kamala. You're not going like, wait, hold on. Let me see what the Wrangler's saying. Let me see that. Like he was captivating even without words.
6, 5.
I was going to say 7.
Oh, okay. That's a high praise, but it's sort of what we talked about earlier, where it's like when the part of the gimmick is that's what a promo is for that character. You have to judge him for the task at hand.
Yeah.
We can't judge him doing a different wrestler's promos. You know, you it's the performance that you were given to do. So yeah, that's fair.
I would lean in when he's on.
Sure. I agree. Wrestling, probably the weakest of the bunch.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that he was exceptionally exciting. He was a good Foley for a smaller baby face who he couldn't catch. But when he got somebody, he didn't need to do much of anything for us to believe that he was going to hurt him because he was so massive. That lends itself to not having to do very much and not having to be necessarily the most athletic or the most, whatever. Yeah. But
wrestled in character for sure, because he'd pin people upside down all the time and be confused.
Right.
Or the ref's no. And the guy's on their belly and he's pinning them.
Right.
The ref's like, no. He never understood the rules of wrestling entirely.
Right. Sure. I just noticed, by the way, you and Alex have been having an entire conversation on the chat the entire time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, he never. I think also because of when he was wrestling and the age I was when I was watching him, I don't remember thinking that like he was a bad wrestler. But also the bar is low when you're a kid and it's a big scary guy and Undertaker's fighting him and you're like. So I don't know.
He goes through a transition of time too, when what he's probably best at is territory non-televised shows.
Right. Sure.
Like at his peak,
yep,
is the champion, Jerry Lawler, is going to be fighting this monster.
Yes.
And
it's about audience engagement more than anything else.
20, 30 minutes of how does Jerry Lawler get past this monster? What can he do? Who's unbridled and doesn't really understand all the rules and might do something scary.
Right.
Then he's more televised and we see him a lot more in the early 90s when it's like, oh, we're kind of bringing him back now. We're like, he's done his thing. He's certainly taken bumps. He's done everything at that point. He's wrestled barefoot all this time.
I know, seriously.
So we don't get him at his best, at his prime.
No.
And wrestling's a little bit more hokey at this point where it is more comedic. Right. And again, he does it in character. He's doing it barefoot. And the types of matches he's supposed to have are kind of more in the realm of a Goldberg match or Ultimate Warrior, where we need you in there for a little bit. We don't need you for a lot.
It's sort of a novelty in the evening. It's that match that's
a special attraction match.
Spectacle, a special attraction, exactly. So I don't want to penalize him, but yeah, exactly. And I don't want to penalize him for that, but also judging that next to some of what we consider somebody who can wrestle with everybody, because we talked about that, like being a good wrestler, that's part of it. I definitely think
probably had to wrestle with Kamala.
Yes.
Because it's like, look, this is the way I have to do it. I can't adapt to you. You have to adapt to me.
Right.
Which is, I think, interesting in the landscape of things. So we'll probably never see his best matches.
No. Right. Because they were done in house shows untelevised. And yeah, absolutely.
So I would say 6.5.
Oh, okay. I was going to go more closer to the middle. I was going to go more 5. 6.5 puts him above Rosemary as a wrestler.
5.5.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I think that's fair. 20.5 is the overall rating for Kamala. All right, so for the last one, I mean, listen, we've done a lot of these episodes now where we pick a genre, and I feel like we both, in hopes to keep building on it, we both tend to pick like people further down the thought process, and we tend to avoid some of the big dogs of the genre or whatever the gimmick is for that specific episode.
Ryback?
So let's take a big swing. Like I'll let you, like, there's some big names that we've always avoided. Fiend, The Undertaker,
Fiend.
Sting, kind of a spooky
Zeus?
character in the face paint. Zeus. I want to give you like, let's end it with a one of the icons, one of the, the big names.
Your choice, man.
I mean, shit, let's just do Taker. We've never done Taker in all of these different shows. Taker's, I think for a lot of people was the bar for a quote spooky character because he was the one who made magic last for a long time somehow. And, they figured out whatever the concoction was with him to make this ridiculous character work.
In the TV, I'm not saying it right. In the more modern day TV boom, that yes.
Yeah.
Previously that you have your Sheik, you have your Abdullah the Butchers, stuff like that. But the accessibility
right
and the big stage Taker is that, yeah.
Right. Well, let's do it. The Undertaker. I mean, they took a big giant ginger man and they made him a dressed in black, tattered clothing Undertaker.
More gray and purple in the beginning.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes. It was actually, I think his debut was purple. I think he started with the black and purple, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. But he was huge, clearly a big dude. He was fit and he would just get fitter and different. He always kind of stayed the same general shape and he got softer and bigger in certain areas as
lovable.
It would go on. Right.
Pudgy spots.
I think, what the heck? Gosh, campfire just broke in here. I heard a door go clack, 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 clack. The little campfire came walking in. I mean, one of the most iconic visually that there is, and the look changes gradually through the years, but it all feels like an evolution of the same character. And I feel like we're cutting out Biker Taker.
He is the guy that adds the tattoos.
Yes. I feel like we're cutting out Biker Taker from this because we're talking about Spooky Taker. And I know that
but works.
But it's also like, he did a good enough job of blending the two throughout the years after we would have the debut of Biker Taker, and then we would get the so I think we can kind of go all encompassing for this, but
we're leaving out Biker Taker.
Oh, all right. Just completely. Right? Sure. Okay.
Because we're just talking about the spooky character and the spooky version of him. And it's well known. It's like, those are two distinct versions of him. So I think we can separate the two, right?
Okay, sure. I'll rescind to that. The only thing about Taker's look as the dead man, as this actual Undertaker, doesn't feel pain, zombie, rest in peace guy, is the tattoos that don't look like the sort of thing like an old Western gunslinging Taker would have.
Well, also the old Western Undertaker wouldn't also have muscles.
And they
wouldn't be a fighter. Right. Every single one of those is portrayed of like, they're on the brink of death themselves. Like, well, let's see how we are here. I won't be there, but I'll be there afterwards. Like they're all that guy.
That's fair. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like
pound for pound the best strikers in WWE.
Well, it's from swinging the hammer to close the coffins. I know. I mean, it's hard. I'm thinking 9 or 9.5 for Undertaker's look. I mean, like, it is even just the silhouette of the way they design his ring gear is like, boom, I know exactly who that is.
Yeah, the long hair,
the big hat. different types of gloves throughout the years, but there's always a glove there, which helps a little bit. The long duster. I mean,
yeah, it's really hard to, because you could certainly nitpick at certain times and
exactly.
eras, and you
There's
go, yeah, but
I didn't like Ministry as
much.
much, but it still works. You know, it was of the era with the
Those
Van
are rough
Dyke
days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But he got a symbol out of it, so there's
Right.
that.
Yeah, I don't
it's-
know. I think
the overall of it, the fact that it does work so much more that it doesn't.
the rolling the eyes, you know, like discovering whatever that was, that he was able to do that and create that. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm leaning 9.5. I think I talked myself to 9.5.
I go 9.5.
I think the only reason he's not a 10, I think, is sometimes the tattoos are distracting.
Sarah?
That was terrible. And there was a lot. Although, did Sarah precede Biker Taker? I think it did. I can't remember because there was
Sarah Sarah was Biker Taker for sure. And then I think he came back and it was on there for a little bit.
Right. Yeah. And those are the times where it's harder for me to be like, oh, you're a cryptic, you control lightning, but also you like
Sarah.
a girl named Sarah. Yeah. Promo. I mean, the guy just did the same thing over and over and over and over again. He came up with a great line. He came up with a ridiculous voice, but I think his promos were best when they would I think the cornier the promos were, the better they were. When he's digging the graves and doing those like whimsical things back during the cheesier era, those are the things that are really good. I remember those more than I remember the like whatever he was doing with, you know, I don't know, 19 Ministry shit.
I think this is one where I think it's his lowest score for sure.
I agree. Yes, I agree.
Because,
but it doesn't mean it's a low score, in my opinion. It's just the lowest.
No, overall, there's a large chunk of it. I'd say since the time he came back as Taker, and certainly years up until his end, when he would just say the most, to me, it's almost worse than Warrior, because I'd go, I don't know what you're talking about, and this doesn't make any sense. You're going to get the dragon and reap the soul of Vicky Guerrero? What the fuck does that mean, dude?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
I think that era of promos were good when he was actually doing a decent feud and he was blending the Biker Taker into it. When he was doing the stuff with Shawn, all the last end of era shit, I remember liking those moments. And because he was bringing a little bit of, we all know that I'm just a dude and I've been wrestling for a long time and I'm still wearing the hat and doing scary guy, but I'm not doing the completely creepy things with the spirits of the darkness and that shit.
But there's so much of the time that he does do that, and it's bad. I think it's bad.
Yeah.
Because it's just nonsensical, and he's saying words that we think we want to hear, and then, if I just say rest in peace, we're fine.
Right.
But yes, back in the older days, when he could riff off Paul, when he could say something more coherent,
right?
And it worked a little bit, or at least in the Attitude Era with the Ministry, he's making coherent sentences because he is a version that didn't yet exist, but he's
Taker
while he's saying wild dumb shit, he's still just like, Stephanie, you will be the bride of this and that. And
right. Yeah.
All right.
He's at that point just in a B horror movie.
Yeah. So, again, like made a standing catchphrase, did all that. I think I'd go 7.
I was exactly thinking the exact same number.
Okay.
I love that we're so simpatico on a lot of these.
Except for Zeus, you bastard.
We could quickly do Zeus after if you want.
29, Rosemary's a 30.
I mean, wrestling, he's one of those where he sells well. Some of the stuff doesn't work. It's also like he made no selling work for a character. The sit up, his timing was always really, really good when he was doing the true dead man version of the character. And then when he would
Tamina.
When he would get taken off of his feet, he made sure it was a big deal and the crowd would pop. The Hogan match and, where he won the title, like he figured it out. He took something that really, I'm sure a lot of people
It was
hated.
completely unnatural to him.
Exactly.
Everybody had this vision, which is, again, remarkable that others could see it needs to be like this. So when you're not seeing it, to just know, like, you need to be slow, you need to be methodical, you need to be looming, you need to be lumbering and a zombie. It's like, I don't fucking wrestle like that.
Right. Yeah.
This is so unnatural. I hate this.
Right.
You got to do it.
It's that whole thing of like slow down until you think you're going way too slow, and then slow down a little bit more is what he always used to say.
Yeah. And he was able to evolve and change that style throughout the years and adapt and incorporate MMA stuff.
Moves,
and he changed with the times and never, his wrestling never felt out of date. His matches only got better. Certainly that's been well chronicled, where it's like they gave him the big guys forever.
Right.
And a lot of them couldn't go in the way that he could go.
Right.
Where he's like, I'm capable of more. I can do this, but I'm not showcasing my best.
Right.
And that he didn't want to settle for, we can always make me the attraction and I can do that. But it's like, I can go. If you bring guys that can fucking go with me, I can go right back with them.
Yeah.
So to push himself in that way up until he murdered AJ Styles, I guess.
Right. Or I was gonna say up until Saudi Arabia. But yeah.
A few of those were fine.
Yeah. I
but
think
he's going to do the comedy festival. He's going to be great.
Oh, geez. He's going to kill that audience. Honestly, I really feel like they're so complimentary, the look and the wrestling, and like, it's one of the reasons why he's the greatest of all time, and he'll be remembered as such, and to have all of the legacy and all that stuff. Some of my favorite matches are Taker matches. He's really good at connecting with an audience without being able to do the Memphis style staring at them and connecting with them thing, which is also hard, talking about like wrestling against style. Like, he's fucking great. And I'm leaning really high. I'm leaning like 9.5 for wrestling for Taker.
Okay.
Do you have a preference of why one would be proposed more over your other?
He is a guy that, in wrestling, this is foreshadowing someday when we tackle Shawn Michaels, where he never broke.
No,
I never saw him break. I know people try to get him to break, there's stories of that. But he never dropped character in any way. There was never
I think people will cite the Brock laughing thing, but he made it. He broke by making it work in the other direction.
He didn't break
with the laughing. Oh, really?
No, I thought that's not him breaking.
I thought Brock got him, and so he mocked Brock with the laugh.
No, so I think what was talked about is he wasn't paying attention when they were going over the match.
Oh.
Someone brought that moment up, and he didn't acknowledge it or realize it, and we're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Brock does it, and he gets pissed off.
Oh, like, got it.
What are you doing?
Why the fuck are you doing that? Right.
And then he like does this thing back.
Right.
And then later on, they're like, yeah, we fucking talked about that. Like,
right,
Brock thought that'd be a funny idea of like,
I love that.
I'm going to get up and laugh at you, and then you're going to do something to me.
Right.
And it didn't register at all. So his genuine pissed off reaction probably plays better than what would have been thought out. But no, it's not a break. It's a fuck you, man. And to be able to wrestle and have so many classic matches. It's really hard, I guess, really, to not give him a 10 in a category of either this or the look.
Honestly,
like,
the more you
needs
spoke,
a 10 in one of these categories.
The more that you spoke, the more that I realized. I think it's this one. I think it's wrestling.
It is.
I think it's
judging in this group of, like you said, with even Kamala, where it's like he didn't have to wrestle like anybody else. He didn't have to adapt to anybody's style, and he did countless times.
And in fact, he created his own in doing so. He created this ability to evolve with every single person he's with, while never compromising that. Like, who he is.
It's like he essentially, maybe not the most fun example of the world for some, but Louis C.K. kind of fucked up the stand-up comedy world.
Sure, right, yeah. I know it's unfortunate, but just like Taker's unfortunate. They're both, yeah.
Well, what I'm going to say is that Louis C.K., in a time when people were going like, oh, I got my one special and I'm going to go out on the road and just do it and do it for crowds. And that's what they want to see. They kind of want to see the best of hits. So I'm going to do that and probably throw in an extra 10 minutes and it'll be fine.
Well, that way you're always working on the new thing. Yeah. But
Louis C.K. was consistently coming out with a new special every year.
Yep.
And that was kind of a Carlin thing, but Carlin wasn't looked at like everybody else had to do that. That's just what he did.
Well, it was also because Carlin wasn't from the era where everybody was so plugged in, you know, the way that we are now. Yeah.
And it wasn't yearly. There was sometimes different spans, but Louis C.K. was setting a bar of like, I'm going to do this every year and I'm going to change my shit up and I'm going to have a new special and audiences are going to expect to see me not do that material again.
Right.
So that it changed comics and how they had to approach material and couldn't just skate by and going like, well, I guess I'll just do my act over everywhere across the states and I'll just do my act. Shit, I need a new act all the time.
Right.
Taker did the same thing of like, he could have just done his act for a long time.
And I don't think
didn't settle for it and went like, I'm going to change this. And other big men, other people in wrestling's like, you're going to have to fucking change your act because I'm changing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a 10 in wrestling is more than fair, which gives Taker a 26.5. Got to be one of our highest. Man,
that teardrop tattoo really took him down one.
Well, there you have it. So you want to run down? Want me to tell you the listings for everybody today? So of people we chatted about today, the lowest listing, the lowest rating, is Abaddon at 14.5.
She'll get there someday.
Right after her is Papa Shango at 17.5, and I'm talking totals here. Followed by Kamala at 20.5. Rosemary at 20. No, sorry, Crazy Steve at 21. Rosemary at 23.5 and Taker at 26.5. We have 4 of the people we spoke about all broke 20, which I feel like is like, that's like the greatest wrestlers are in the 20. Those people who are going to stand a test of time, we feel. And
yes, bias does play a role in it. And those who don't like it, you can call the hotline and
yell
at all you want and then not show your work again.
Alrighty, well, let me do that thing where I sort and we can kind of see where people fall. We're already at like an hour and a half of this, so we're going forever here. Sometimes you just gotta do a bunch of shit, talk about a bunch of shit.
You gotta trick or treat all night long.
Sort from column E, A to Z, Z to A. Alrighty.
Z, you weirdo.
So some of the people that we spoke about today, Undertaker is tied with the same rating as Brock Lesnar for our 3rd highest rating we've ever given.
Okay.
Beaten only by Kurt Angle by 1 full number point, and then Ric Flair by 1.5. So they're all
consistently all around like those two.
Yeah, they're all within 1.5.
Taker's promo is just
a
little rough.
Rosemary. Oh, this makes perfect sense. Guess who Rosemary has the exact same grade as?
Abyss?
No. Slightly higher than Abyss.
Skeeter Skyflyer?
Well, obviously. But who else is like a through and through Palski's favorite wrestler? A person that we both love that maybe the rest of the internet doesn't
Christian.
like as much as we do. Exactly. So Rosemary is tied with Christian at 23.5, also tied with Gunther at 23.5. Who else? Spooky wrestlers. Where are they? I lost them all. Some of them are low. Abaddon is right above Mabel and right below Johnny Gargano. Where the hell? Oh, I see them. Crazy Steve is in a tie with Lex Luger.
It's good company.
And just above Del Rio, Prince Puma, and Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit feels rated too low, but sometimes one category gets you that promo.
And sometimes one of us is in a bad mood.
Sure. Well, there you go. That'll do it for the first spooky wrestling Hitman thing. Eventually, we're gonna have to start coming around to some of these categories again, since we've been doing it for like a year now, and we've never returned. We don't have a number 2 yet of any of these episodes. But next time, how about next time we know what we're gonna do? Next time we do novelty wrestlers and Zeus,
people that wrote a book.
Zeus will be the first novel. What does that have to do with it?
Novel.
Oh, I get it. We could do novelty wrestlers, and Zeus will be the first one we do. All right, Sky
29.
Narver.
You gotta pick a champ, man.
Yeah, we gotta pick a champ. It's we're going super long here. You guys know what this is. It's the Championship Palski Battle Royal. You got to get your ass in the patreon.com/pwpalskis. Get your name in this jar. You will have your name up in lights. Only 3 more names to be chosen to be entered into our big end of year giveaway. October, November, December. Let's see who our official spooky champ is. Of course, our current champ, Mickey Bell, defending the title with honor. I've got one. And new PWP champ for the month of October, Tony Griggs. Tony Griggs, congratulations on being October spooky champ. I look forward to seeing what you have in store for us in the watch along. And let's see. Let me pull up that part of our show. There's so many sheets.
It means you have to have king-size candy bars to give out on Halloween, Tony.
Tony Griggs' 3rd victory this year. He's going to be in that end of year giveaway 3 times. His name. He's the most winning champ of 2025.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Mickey Bell has won the title twice this year. And then the other names that are in the running so far, all with 1 entry apiece, are Alex Pierce, Andrea Beeler, Gilbert Short, Mass Lama, and Mike Lucas. And now that I've just read all of those out, let's thank all of our Patreon Palskis. You can say all those names again.
Yes, thank you to all the Palskis that help support this show. Adrian Avina, Alex Pierce, Alice Rader, Andrea Beeler, Gilbert Short, Mass Lama, Michael Beltran, Mike Lucas, Suicide, Tim Redbeard, Tom Hader, and the new PWP champ, Tony Griggs.
Thanks to each and every one of you for continued support of the program. Could not, would not, should not do the show without you. We really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope that we didn't irritate you too much with our ratings.
I hope I did.
I hope, I think we all know that you did. Also,
Rosemary, you're a 30.
You know what we've never done? I like that because it sounds like a weird rating out of context, like 30 out of 100. What?
She's a 30 out of 30.
I don't think that's the name of the ESPN show. What was I gonna say? I kept going to say, oh yeah, pitch us a category for the show, listeners. We've never really asked people what category would they want us to do for Hitman Rating Systems. Maybe we do one of these
where
where
we at the top of the show.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Well, here's the thing is we planned on doing this, and then we heard Mass Lama's voicemail, so kind of whatever, you get it. Or maybe we do one where we just let the listeners pick. We just do a quick, like, first 6 names people give us on the Discord kind of thing. That might be fun.
Sure.
We
have
trying.
a hotline, for God's sakes.
Yeah, we have a hotline. We're trying to make it interactive. 747-666-5606. That's the number of the Pro Wrestling Palskis hotline. Thanks for that call at the top of the show, Mass Lama. All right, let's get out of here. You guys know all the things. pwpalskis.com is your one-stop shop. Get all your links there. Scott, any closing statements?
I have a coffee date, for God's sakes. Let me out of here.
All righty, let's get out of here. Thanks so much for joining us. Always a blast hanging out with you, Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Dragon Wagon.